So welcome everybody. My name is Carolyn Dubé. I'm the executive director here at Fertility Matters Canada. We're the national patient organization that provides support, information, and education to Canadians who are struggling to build their family. And it's Canadian Infertility Awareness Week, and I'm thrilled to be bringing you so many live videos with fertility experts across Canada and today the United States with Ali Domar, who is the creator of FertiCalm, which is an incredible app um, designed with fertility patients in mind. Ali, thank you for your time today. I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I'd love to know a little bit more about you and your experience and why FertiCalm was something you felt was important to develop.
Thanks, Caroline. I appreciate it. I'm still stunned by the technology that you and I can have this conversation
I know.
across countries. It's just
It's
extraordinary.
amazing.
But I don't know if you noticed, I did wear my most appropriate. It has little lobsters on it.
Oh, thank you.
I have no clothes that have little maple sugars on it, but I tried with the lobsters.
That's okay.
So I'm a psychologist. I've been studying the stress fertility connection for almost 33 years. I am a dinosaur. And I've been doing a lot of research. I've been seeing patients. I designed the Mind Body program for infertility. And for 10 years, I was a board member for Resolve, which is sort of your American equivalent.
Yes.
And every year, Resolve has this fundraising event called Night of Hope. And I think it was my second to last year. And you're only allowed to be on for 10 years. So I was coming off. And so I had convinced a good friend of mine and colleague, Liz Grill, who is sort of my equivalent at Cornell in New York City. She's the chief psychologist there. And at the end of the evening, and I swear there was no alcohol involved, she came up to me and she said, "Have you ever thought about working on an app?" And this is probably 4 years ago. And I'm like, I barely know how to use my phone. So apps have never occurred to me. And she said, every day I have patients come to me and say, "I'm feeling distressed and anxious, and there's so many things that push my button on a daily basis." And she says, "I've searched through every app out there, and the only infertility apps are when to ovulate or my prognosis or my chances of conception." She says, "There's nothing that helps women and men, but specifically women, cope in those moments." And we all know what those moments are. When you're at a family event and your little sister announces she's pregnant, or you're at work in an important meeting and you feel cramps and you go to the bathroom and you see your period has started, or the 2,700th family member asks you, "When are you going to start a family?" Or you have a pregnancy loss. There are a million events. And so Liz says, we need to do an app that addresses those moments because we're therapists. Both of us have super busy practices, and we spend all day, every day, teaching our patients how to cope with those moments. But we can't be with our patients at these family events and in the bathroom. And there are lots of people who, for a lot of reasons, don't come see a therapist.
Absolutely.
So at the end of Night of Hope, Liz and I literally sat down and sketched on a napkin.
Oh my gosh.
It's sort of, I don't know.
This is awesome.
Seen Mamma Mia, but in Mamma Mia, they sketched out their hotel. So we literally designed it on a napkin at Night of Hope. So it was the Resolve napkin. And it just, and you take two psychologists who know nothing about technology and nothing about design and nothing about business. And just everything fell into place. Like I happen to know someone who's a designer who actually designed the app, which is a flower.
Wow.
And, very quickly, like literally a few months later, Ferring offered to sponsor it. And it launched probably about a year later, which is incredible.
That is, it had launched I was sort of in the middle of a fertility journey myself when it was launching. And I had been at a meeting, fertility related meeting, and I got a card that said, "You need to download this app." And I downloaded it and I thought, holy smokes. And I had been a veteran sort of in the fertility world at that point. I'd been through several IVF cycles. And I remember distinctly thinking, where was this 6 years ago? When I didn't know at that point, I didn't have a connection to a support group like Fertility Matters. I had a couple of girlfriends and we created a Facebook page. But what was interesting is a lot of the things that you touch on in the app are the things that we see over and over and over again being talked about in the support groups.
Right.
My best friend, my sister-in-law, who's so much younger than me, has just announced she's pregnant for the 4th time. Like those types of things.
Yeah.
And you can just, even being on the other side of it, feel the wind just come right out of your sails because it takes you right back to what do you do?
You feel sucker punched.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. So what we did was we came up with the 50 situations where you feel sucker punched. Because, you know, Liz and I have been counseling people for so long, you know, and then I started asking my patients, like, what's the worst? Like, when is the time where you feel like I can't do this? Yeah. And so those are the 50 situations. And so what our designer did is the initial app, I don't know if you can see it, looks like a flower.
Yeah, and I've got it pulled up on my phone here.
And there are 12 categories. And each category represents an entity. So actually, I should have pulled it up on my phone too. You think I'd have it by now?
It's beautifully designed.
Well, you know, it's interesting because our designer, who is, I think, incredibly talented, for the mental health professional group of ASRM is doing this HOPE campaign where every other day a member of what we call ourselves the mentals posts a message of hope. And so I happened to be talking to our designer last week and I said, okay, the 23rd, April 23rd is my day. And I have no idea. And so she created this beautiful graphic, which I'm about to post. So she's just an incredible designer. Anyway, so we came up with the 12 categories. It was how to handle holidays, how to handle baby functions, like being invited to a baby shower, social events, treatment, that dreaded 2-week wait. So for every single one, there's a petal of our flower. And if you touch on one of them, so there you go. Thank you. You're my hand model.
There you go.
There are other categories. And so, for example, under fertility treatment, is it the actual procedure? Is it being upset at the clinic? Is it waiting for a procedure? And if you click on one of those, for every situation, there are 6 solutions.
It's amazing.
Okay? So 3 of them are the same for every situation. So one is self-nurturing. Like, how can you nurture yourself? One is humor. I mean, there's some really weird stuff that happens. Probably the most popular part of the app is called relaxation, and there are 10 pre-recorded relaxations in my voice. And it's interesting is that a ton of fertility nurses have been doing that themselves. But anyway, so the other 3 are unique to that situation. And one is called cognitive techniques. So when you have that awful thought, and you know, it gives you a different twist of looking at it. It's called cognitive behavior therapy. So it helps you think in a different way. Then there are behavioral techniques. Like, what do you do physically? What's your behavior when someone announces their pregnancy? And then I think my favorite, because I wrote them, are called social solutions. And they're scripts on what to say when someone says something really stupid to you. So for example, here's one under solutions for treatment. If someone says to you, I can't believe you're still going to that doctor you complain about all the time. I keep telling you, go see my cousin's doctor. Everyone who sees him gets pregnant. So for every stupid thing, we have 2 potential scripts. One is polite, such as, I appreciate the referral. If I continue to be frustrated with my care, I'll check into it. Or educate the person. I'm seeing the physician who's been highly recommended to me. The waiting times are indeed often long, but I feel like I'm getting really good care. And, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I don't think of responses quickly. Like, I was in London at the grocery store last week, and this woman said the rudest thing to me. And it took me like 2 days to figure out what I should have said to her. And so the idea of these scripts is you can think of the things that people say that hurt you the most, and the scripts are right there.
Yeah. Especially, you know, what's nice is some of them, if you anticipate, you know, if you anticipate being invited to a baby shower, or, you know, so you know that someone's having a baby shower and you think, like, how do I get out of this? You know, it's nice to be able to refer back, and then it gives something tangible to hold on to, because a lot of times you're just so, quite frankly, most people are just holding back tears a lot of times that things are said to them. And, you know, and there is a lot of stupid stuff. And You know, I can't think of the number of times someone said, just relax. You guys are too stressed. Expletives would be flying out of my mouth. Like I would just be, the emotional piece of it was just so strange and draining. And this would have been incredibly helpful in those, especially in those, when I was first diagnosed and moving through that. I mean, I got more confident, of course, but still,
you need everything you can get.
yes.
Because someone goes through infertility, most people have never been a patient before. The language, I mean, I give a lot of talks around the world trying to train healthcare professionals how to be more empathic with infertility patients. And I said, one thing you have to remember to the healthcare professionals is this is a language that we're really comfortable with, and it's a foreign language for all of our patients. So we can throw things around like IUI and PGD and betas and stuff. It's a different language. And so you're suddenly, you know, this is something you want more than anything you've ever wanted anything in your life. Everyone you know is getting it effortlessly, even accidentally.
Yeah.
And you're suddenly thrust into that patient world. And so, you know, the purpose of the app was, you know, I have my patients like who will literally tell me on a Monday morning, you know, at 11 o'clock on Saturday night, they got their period. And they knew they shouldn't call me. And they went to the app and they got to the situation of getting your period. And they did the strategies right there.
Oh my gosh.
It's like having a therapist in your phone. And the idea is just strategies that people can use. And I have to, you know, give a shout out to Faring because they've been sponsoring this app in the US now for 3 years. And in Canada, they've just extended their sponsorship. So it's free.
It's free. And that's exactly. So we partner with organizations like this to continue to bring these resources. And we're very thankful for Faring Canada for the ability to continue use of this in Canada. And we're going to be using it in our support groups with our support group leaders. And you hit on a very good point. You know, a lot of times, speaking from personal experience, and because we run a lot of online support groups and in-person peer-led support groups, obviously they're on pause right now. What's really interesting is that you do get a lot of activity in these support groups after hours when you can't connect with someone. Something happens, or you've just been sitting by yourself for a period of time and are feeling overwhelmed. You've got some time to sit and think about what the doctor actually told you. So having this at your fingertips literally is, I mean, I personally feel incredibly powerful to just be able to pull something up and like in an instant, you know, and I know that it doesn't replace speaking with a mental health professional.
No, it does not.
But to help as a tool, you know, I mean, thank you for writing those notes on that Resolve napkin, because I hope you framed it, because fertility patients across the globe are going to eventually benefit from this. And I couldn't be more proud. So
I have to ask Liz Grill if she kept the napkin, because, you know, I am not artistic. In fact, the only class of my life that I've ever flunked was art in like 6th grade. So Liz was the one that sort of sketched it out. So I'll have to ask. We you know, at the beginning we didn't know what we were doing, so I don't know if we kept anything. We were just floundering. So
well, now you've got this beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So I'd love to know, Ali, give us some of your top tips for maximizing the experience, the patient experience, with the app.
Well, you know, definitely the relaxations. I mean, as I said, I think those have been, and the relaxations, of the 10 of them, 5 of them are what we call minis. And minis are used in 2 different ways. One is when you tune into the fact that you're anxious. So you just saw a pregnant woman cross the street, or you just heard your cousin's pregnant, or so you're like, you do a mini. And it's 1 or 2 minutes, and it's just focused breathing techniques, and it just brings down your level of anxiety. The other way to do a mini is to do a mini, to notice situations which push your button, and do a mini ahead of time. So before you call the doctor's office for test results, before you look at social media, you know, and
That's a great tip.
Do it preventively and just calm yourself down, knowing you're entering potentially a war zone. And then the longer relaxations are used because if you do it regularly, your sort of baseline level of anxiety will come down. So I think the relaxations are super important. You know, I'd say that I'm trying to think. I mean, they're one of the flower petals is on holidays. And I think
Yes,
holidays are really, really hard for a lot of people. And we actually,
definitely.
we track the downloads, and it's amazing at, Christmas and Easter and, all these big family holidays, that
Hmm.
holiday petal use spike.
Yeah. And
Um,
parties with kids. I mean,
Parties with kids. Yeah. I mean, I will say, I tell all my patients, and whenever I give talks, please don't go to baby showers. I mean, I don't, you can consider yourself under doctor's orders. Don't go to baby showers. There's no reason. Send a lovely gift, and honestly and truly, just develop a stomach bug that morning,
yeah,
because there's no reason for you to go. And so I think that other things in the app, it's ideas like that. When we talk about the behavioral solutions, don't go. I mean, don't go to the mall on a Saturday afternoon.
right.
Don't go to family-run restaurants at 5:30. I mean, there are things that you can do to self-protect yourself and think ahead. And so I think that, if I look at, obviously we hear about relaxations the most, we hear about the holidays the most. And I think a lot of people use it during treatment to just
Hmm.
cope with the injections and cope with the ultrasounds and stuff. And
Of
then
course.
that 2-week wait is super powerful.
Yeah.
Because
And it
that's
sort of brings you through all the stages of a fertility journey, when you first get diagnosed, or while you're in that period of time before you even start a treatment, and then while you're in treatment and what that looks like and how to manage
Mhm.
while you're in there, because that's a whole other, you know,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And then afterwards, that 2-week wait, when, we hear a lot of patients say the worst part of this experience
Oh, it is. It is. There's
is the
actually
2-week
data.
wait.
There's
Hmm.
data that people's anxiety level peaks
Oh,
during that 2-week wait. It's
you
a
know,
horrible time. And we're doing a study right now at Boston IVF. One of our fellows, we're doing a study to see if a call from him, I've trained him in empathic communication. Does a call from him impact stress levels? Like, is talking to a lovely, well-trained physician during that 2-week wait? Because I'm desperate to figure
yeah,
out what can we do. And there's definitely a lot of information on the app on how to handle that 2-week wait.
it's amazing.
And right now, everybody's in a massive
Oh,
2-week wait.
that's it. This is like so I mean, now more than ever, this app is it's so important, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring it to patients, because I'm hopeful that people will download it,
Me
and
too.
that we will be able to, everybody can start to reduce stress levels and feel more confident.
And get healthier, get emotionally healthier, especially
Exactly.
during this waiting period. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Allie, in closing, are there any other things that you'd like to mention? Did we not touch on anything that you think is
I
important?
think you're awfully thorough, Carolyn.
I know.
I would just say that, I mean, this is this is also, everything on the app is research proven. I'm a scientist. I'm at Harvard Medical School. Liz is at Cornell. We are not flaky, new agey, anything. We are both Ph.D. psychologists. I'm the researcher on stress and fertility issues. Everything on the app is research proven. And if you just give it a try and sort of look through the flowers and try the different petals, I swear you will find something that's going to really help you feel better and in more control.
I agree, and we're thrilled. So we're going to keep you updated
Okay.
as our support groups and our patients are following up and
Yeah.
letting us know, giving us their feedback. Allie, thank you for your
Oh,
time
my pleasure.
today.
Thank
Thank you for the development of this incredible app. Thank you to Fairing Canada
Yeah.
for ensuring that all Canadian patients can download this app on
Yeah.
the App Store for free. And don't forget, it's Canadian Infertility Awareness Week. Please join us for the rest of the week as we connect with more fertility experts and patients sharing their stories and their expertise. Allie, have a great weekend,
You
and we'll
too.
see
Stay
everybody
safe,
really soon.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.